Tadaranam Anam Anam கண்டேன் கலி தீர்ந்தேன் நான் கண்டேன் கலி தீர்ந்தேன் நான் கண்டேன் கலி தீர்ந்தேன் கருணை கடலை 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 நான் கண்டேன் கலி தீர்ந்தேன் நின்றேன் அருகில் நின்றேன் சந்நிதி அருகில் நின்றேன் சந்நிதி அருகில் நிர்மலாமிருதம் உண்டேன் நின்றேன் சந்நிதி அருகில் நிர்மலாமிருதம் உண்டேன் வென்றேன் பொறி புலன்களை விண்ணவர் போற்றும் பேரானே கண்டேன் கலி தீர்ந்தேன் நின்றேன் சந்நிதி அருகில் நிர்மலாமிருதம் உண்டேன் வென்றேன் பொறி புலன்களை விண்ணவர் போற்றும் பேரானே கண்டேன் கலி தீர்ந்தேன் அநாதி கற்பிதமாகிய மாயைகள் யாவையும் வென்றேன் அதிசயானந்தம் கொண்டேன் ஆணவமலம் விண்டேன் அநாதி கற்பிதமாகிய மாயைகள் யாவையும் வென்றேன் அதிசயானந்தம் கொண்டேன் ஆணவமலம் விண்டேன் அநாதிகளு கெட்டாமல் மகிமை பொருந்தியதில்லை மாயன் கோபால கிருஷ்ணன் தொழும் மகாதேவன் திருமேனியை கண்டேன் கலி தீர்ந்தேன் அநாதி கற்பிதமாகிய மாயைகள் யாவையும் வென்றேன் அதிசயானந்தம் கொண்டேன் ஆணவமலம் விண்டேன் அநாதிகளு கெட்டாமல் மகிமை பொருந்தியதில்லை மாயன் கோபால கிருஷ்ணன் தோழும் மகாதேவன் திருமேனியை கண்டேன் கலி தீர்ந்தேன் கருணை கடலை நான் கண்டேன் கலி தீர்ந்தேன்
Welcome, wishing everyone a very auspicious festive Navratri.
கண்டேன் கலி தீர்ந்தேன். I saw the form of the Lord. I conquered my senses and I was liberated. Gopalakrishna Bharati in this beautiful composition says, I had a glimpse of the image of the Lord in the sanctum sanctorium of the temple. I gained control over my senses, ego and illusion by being absorbed in the absolute truth. Kana vendamo tillayai kana vendamo ayyanai kana vendamo iru kan irukum bode vinnuyar gopuram kana vendamo வீணில் உலகை சுற்றி சுற்றி வந்தால் வீணில் உலகை சுற்றி சுற்றி வந்தால் வேதினில் போற்றும் சிதம்பர தேவனை காண வேண்டாமோ வையத்திலே கருப்பையுள் கிடந்துள்ளம் நைய பிராவமல்லையன் திருநடம் காண வேண்டாமோ ஓட்டை சடலம் ஒடுங்க வெற்றெலும்பு கூட்டிலிருந்துயிர் ஓட்டம் பிடிக்கும் முன் காண வேண்டாமோ இரு கண் இருக்கும் போதே விண்ணுயர் கோபுரம் காண வேண்டாமோ. Papanasham Shivan pleads, should one not see the worthy sights before they lose their eyesight? Instead of wandering aimlessly in the world, should you not go see the Lord of Chidambaram praised by the world? Before the soul leaves this body of flesh and bones, should you not do the worthy acts this human form is worthy of doing? The first composition talks about a realized soul, and the second one appeals to the common man to understand the purpose of human life. Atma or soul in its Sukshma Rupa or subtle form has complete awareness. When that life force enters a Sthula Rupa, physical human form in the womb, it loses all of its awareness. Then an entire human life is spent on understanding that absolute truth. A soul that has reached that milestone is a liberated or enlightened being, referred to as Sat Chit Ananda. Understanding the truth that is Sat, while still in Chit or in human form, is ultimate bliss or Ananda. So the song beautifully conveys the message, do worthy acts to reduce the burden of karma and earn merits for moksha while you still have the opportunity to do so in human form. Among our sense organs, the eyes, which introduces the rūpam or the form, are the most powerful tool for learning. A visual speaks 1,000 words. Try learning a language without the visual shape of the alphabets. Even a blind person learns the form through touch to connect with the sound. Such is the power and need for a visual presentation. Spirituality is no different. Idols, vigrahas, or images of the gods are an embodiment of the divine. Bhagavad Gita states that only a few have the time and mind to ponder or fix on the unmanifested, absolute, abstract, formless Brahman. By nature, for most human beings, it is much easier to focus on qualities, virtues, stories, and aspects of a manifested representation of God through one's senses, emotions, and heart. The rūpam provides a focus for worship and meditation and is a reminder of God's virtues as described in the Shastras. The gods, goddesses, and demons mentioned in the Vedas represent various cosmic powers and energies on one hand, and man's virtues and vices on the other. The three stages of worship at different levels of intellect are described as Tantra, which involves visual imagery and technique, Mantra through sound vibrations, and Yantra, a geometric representation of the divine. Hindu gods are generally depicted as Sirashreni Swarupams, gods with multiple heads and arms, or as Mrigasirash, gods with animal heads. Shiras or head is the storehouse of all the pranas or life energy. This visually represents their supreme powers and superiority over mankind. Let's now look at the rūpam or forms and significances of various gods and goddesses. Ganapathi or Lord of the Bhuta Ganas. Shiva accidentally cuts the head of the boy created by Parvati. He is then brought back to life with an elephant head, hence gets the name Ganesha. Lord Ganesha is worshipped first before starting anything new, as he clears the obstacles and paves the way for us to move forward in life. The large elephant head of Lord Ganesha symbolizes wisdom, understanding, and a discriminating intellect that one must possess to attain perfection in life. The wide mouth represents the natural human desire to enjoy life in the world. The large ears signify that a perfect person is the one who possesses a great capacity to listen to others and assimilate ideas. The trunk is strong to hold anything. Likewise, the individuals should possess qualities of high adaptability and efficiency in life. It also represents Om, the pranava or the sound symbol of cosmic reality. The two tusks denote the two aspects of human personality, wisdom and emotion. The broken left tusk conveys the idea that one must conquer emotions with wisdom to attain perfection. The elephant eyes are said to possess natural deceptiveness that allows them to perceive objects to be bigger than what they really are. This signifies surrendering one's pride and to embrace humility. The Trishul, weapon of Shiva, similar to trident, over forehead symbolizes time, past, present and future, and Lord Ganesha's mastery over it. The four arms of Lord Ganesha represent the four inner attributes of the subtle body, that is the mind manas, intellect buddhi, ego ahankara and conditioned consciousness chitta. Lord Ganesha represents the pure consciousness, the Atma, which enables these four attributes to function in us. The hand waving an axe is a symbol of the retention of all desires, bearing of pain and suffering. With this axe, Lord Ganesha can both strike and repel objects. The second hand holds a whip. The whip conveys that worldly attachments and desires should be rid of. The third hand, in a pose of a blessing, that is abhaya, is for protection. The fourth hand holds a lotus flower, Padma, and it symbolizes the highest goal of human evolution, the sweetness of the realized inner self. The human body possesses a human heart, which is a symbol of kindness and compassion towards all. Lord Ganesha's belly represents the whole cosmos. The seven realms above and below and the seven oceans are inside Ganesha's cosmic belly. These are held together by the cosmic energy Kundalini, symbolized by the huge snake around him. The snake that runs around his waist represents energy in all forms. The big belly signifies that a person should face all pleasant and unpleasant experiences during his lifespan with patience and calmness. The wandering mouse also signifies the wavering human mind and ego and the need to control the mind with intellect. Shanmukha, the six-faced Lord Subramanya. After Sati Devi self-immolates in Daksha Yajna, Shiva and Shakti are separated. The Asuras gain power and create havoc for the celestials and rishis. To restore peace and to establish that Shiva and Shakti are one force, a son is born from Shiva's third eye. The flames from Shiva's third eye are carried by Vayu, the wind god. The Agni yields 6 boys on 6 lotuses in the Saravana lake, and the boys are raised by the 6 celestial maidens known as Kartikeya Pengal. When Parvati hugs the boys, he becomes one boy with 6 faces. So Shanmukha, Shan in Sanskrit meaning 6, or Arumukam. He is the god of war and is known for his extraordinary strength. He holds a spear. His vehicle is a peacock. Kartikeya's form points to the ways of reaching perfection in life. Peacock, a pious bird that grips a serpent with its feet, which symbolizes destroying harmful habits and ego to conquer sensual desires. Shiva or Mahadeva is a supreme being in Shaivism. In Vedic texts, he is referred as Rudra. The Sanskrit word Shiva denotes auspicious and benevolent. The Jnana Ganga on his head denotes the flow of knowledge from the Guru to the disciple. The crescent moon represents the nectar of life, and the poison in his neck, death. It indicates that life is full of pairs of opposites. We should develop a calm mind and balance to face both pleasure and pain. The snake represents Kala or time. It also represents the mind that spits out the poison of negative thoughts. Shiva smears his body with ashes or vibhuti from the cremation ground. This is symbolic of our body is already dead, inert matter, which will turn to ashes one day. Therefore, we need to raise above our identification with this physical body even while we are living. Lord Shiva is referred as the Trayambaka or Trilochana, the Lord with the third eye in the forehead. The sun, moon and fire represent the 3 eyes. This spiritual eye, which stands for deeper consciousness, is a symbol of enlightenment. Shiva assumes ferocious forms like the Veerabhadra or Bhairava as a destroyer, and benevolent forms such as Guru Dakshinamurthi or Adi Yogi as a patron deity of yoga, meditation and the arts. Rishaba Vahanam. Rishaba or Nandi is the Vahanam of Lord Shiva. The word Rishaba has 2 meanings. The ordinary meaning is the bull, and the hidden meaning is one who illuminates right actions, its results and all dharmas. Rishaba is also symbolically related to Lord Shiva's role of destructor. Only a realized soul can easily understand the significance of death. Death is the beginning of regeneration, and it is only a minuscule part of the great cycle of birth and death. When a sadhak serves the Lord faithfully, just as an ordinary bull serves his master day in and day out without demanding or seeking anything for himself, this very attitude sheds the seed of the vasanas and he attains mukti. Dakshinamurthi or Guru. This form represents Shiva as a universal teacher who passes the secrets of yoga, tantra, yantra, arts, sciences, knowledge to the sages, saints, gods and goddesses who are qualified to possess the secrets. Aptly named as he stands at the top of the snowy mountains of the Himalayas and faces the southern direction. This image is depicted in a pleasant mood as seated on a high seat with one leg folded while the other rests on the Apasmara Purusha, the deluded self. He holds the snake in one hand and the fire in the other. Here the snake represents tantric knowledge while the fire represents enlightenment. The other 2 are Abhaya Mudra, the posture of assurance, and Jnana Mudra, the posture of presenting knowledge. Kailas, the abode of Shiva, is considered as a stored energy center of his knowledge. Hence, the mystic Himalayas have always been associated with holiness, filled with serenity, pureness, and divine energy,
and considered the dwelling region of gods and sages. Vedic texts portray Shiva as Rudra with 5 faces. Each of these faces are assigned with a specific aspect and a name. Ishana, Tatpurusha, Aghora, Vamadeva and Satyojata. Ishana represents the Ishvara aspect of Shiva, known as Sadashiva or the eternal Shiva. Tatpurusha represents the deluded Purusha or ego. Aghora represents the destructive and regenerative aspect of Shiva that can devour life and prepare for the renewal. Vamadeva represents the healer and the preserver side of Shiva, and Satyojata represents the creative side of Shiva. Lingam is the formless absolute reality, pure consciousness form of Shiva with no beginning or end, a self-created Swayambhu. The 3 offsprings of demon Taraka performed severe penances and obtained the boon of immense power from Brahma. Each of them created an aerial revolving city in the sky. In the course of revolving, the 3 would converge very rarely. The boon granted them that they would live for 1,000 years in the 3 invincible moving cities, and that they could be destroyed only by an arrow that could merge the 3 forts into one and set them to fire. The demons, armed with this boon, created havoc on the universe. The gods and the sages approached Shiva and pleaded for his assistance in removing this menace. With Prithvi, the earth as chariot, Brahma as the charioteer, sun and the moon as chariot wheels, Mount Meru as the bow, serpent Vasuki as the bowstring, and Vishnu as the arrow, Shiva shoots the arrow to burn down the 3 revolving cities. Hence the name Tripurantaka. Bikshatana. In the thick forest of Darukavana, Munis, including the Sapta Rishis and the Mahayogis, were engaged in deep tapasya along with their wives and children. Shiva assumed the form of a semi-lunatic, a 4-armed mendicant adorned with ornaments, holding a begging bowl in his hand, but of an astonishingly handsome and shapely physique, as a Digambara or naked, laughing loudly at times and behaving erratically, and seduces the women. Horrified by Bikshatana's appearance and actions, the sages have a long confrontation with him. They use their ascetic powers to send various weapons, animals to attack the stranger. Shiva transforms all the attacks into his iconic weapons and imagery of the Nataraja, the cosmic dancer. Ultimately, Bikshatana triumphs and dispels the arrogance and ignorance of the sages. Nataraja, or the dancing form of Lord Shiva, is a beautiful symbol of the union of nature and the divine. The Nataraja icon is a unified and dynamic composition expressing the rhythm and harmony of life. This cosmic dance of Shiva is called Ananda Tandava, the dance of delight, signifies the cosmic cycles of creation, preservation and destruction, as well as the daily rhythm of birth and death. The significance of the Nataraja's sculpture is said to be that Shiva is shown as the source of all movement within the cosmos, represented by the arch of flames. The purpose of the dance is to release men from illusion of the idea of self and of the physical world. The cosmic dance was performed in Chidambaram in South India, called the center of the universe by Hindus. The gesture of the dance represents Shiva's 5 activities: creation, symbolized by the drum; protection, by the fear not hand gesture; destruction, by the fire; embodiment, by the foot planted on the ground; and release, by the foot held aloft. The symbolism of Shiva as Nataraja is religion, art, and science merged as one. Kalasamhara murthy. Markandeya, an ardent devotee of Shiva, was given only 16 years to live. On the day he was destined to die, Yama arrived to take the soul of Markandeya while he was in continuous Shiva worship. Yama was killed as he tried to abduct the soul of Markandeya. But later Shiva restores life to Yama on the request of the celestials. Kala Bhairava is a powerful manifestation of Shiva associated with annihilation or destruction, and his mount is a dog. Bhairava originates from the word Bhiru, which means fearsome. He is also known as one who destroys fear or the one who is beyond fear. Bhairava is the one who protects his devotees from dreadful enemies like greed, lust, and anger. These enemies are dangerous as they never allow humans to see God within. Bha means creation, Ra means sustenance, and Va means destruction. Therefore, Bhairava is the one who creates, sustains, and dissolves the three stages of life. Therefore, he becomes the ultimate or the supreme. In the form of Kala Bhairava, Shiva is supposed to be guarding all the Shakti Peetams or Shakti temple. Ardhanareeswarar translates itself as Lord who is half woman and depicts the composite form of Lord Shiva and his consort Parvati. This synthesis of male and female forms for effecting creation has its root in the ancient texts and holds a deeper meaning and cosmic significance. It is said that when Shiva and Parvati got married, Parvati insisted Shiva to experience her state of being. So Shiva made her sit on his left lap and pulled her within himself, thus shedding half of himself and including Parvati. Neelakantan. When the milky ocean was churned for the nectar of immortality by the gods and demons, Vasuki, the snake, as the churning rope, vomits a fatal poison, Hala Kala Visha. When wealth and attractive things were churned from the ocean, both Devas and Asuras fought over it, but obviously no one wanted the fatal poison. Out of compassion to save the whole world, Shiva drinks the poison, but he keeps it in his throat without letting it into his stomach, so it turns blue, and hence he is called blue-necked or Neelakantan. The inference from this is only great and wise people will be able to swallow the pain and poison in life. Ordinary people will always lay claim only for the good things in life. The other significance is Shiva did not become poisonous or bitter himself. Similarly, the one who is able to go through life experiences and still abides in his own true nature with acceptance is the enlightened one. SankaraNarayanan or Hariharan. Legend has it that once goddess Parvati performed intense austerities to see Shiva and Vishnu together. To please her, Shiva is believed to have appeared in the form of SankaraNarayanan. It also explains the core teaching that all the different forms are just manifestation of the one single supreme being, Brahman. Kalyana Sundareswarar. This form is the depiction of the wedding of Shiva and Shakti.
Vishnu Puranam states Narayanan appears in 5 aspects or forms. They are Param, Vyuham, Vibhava, Antaryami, and Archyavatara. Water is the basis of Srishti or creation. The 5 aspects of Vishnu are compared to 5 ways we can access water.
Param, Paramapadam or Sri Vaikuntham, surrounded by the Andams and the Avaranam's water, that is the oceans, where Sriman Narayana appears in a Paripurna Divya Rūpam, in perfect form of divine harmony with his consorts Sri Devi and Bhudevi Tayars. He entertains the Mukti Jivans, Nitya Suris or the realized soul in their Sukshma Shariras or Brahma Swaroopam. The Karanodayam water for Srishti is accessible only in Vaikuntham. The second Rupam of the Lord is as Sesha Sayee in Vyuham. This is the Swarupa of Sriman Narayana in reclining posture in the middle of the Milky Ocean on the soft bed of Sri Adi Sesha, Sesha Sayanam. Here he is presenting himself as the Kshirabdinatha to Devas and Maharishis, advising the Devas in their daily duties in serving the universe. The Akasha Ganga, or water from the clouds, is the eternal water source for the celestials. The third rūpam of the Lord is Vibhava Avatarams. His manifestations in form of 10 avatarams called Dasavatharams. Contemporaries who lived during those times enjoyed the presence of the Lord like water we get during the rainy season. Thus, this rūpam is in the past, like last year's river water, which is no longer available to quench our thirst. Antaryami, or omnipresent. Sriman Narayana resides in the hearts of all his creations as Jivatma or Brahman. One has to bore deep down within the riverbeds to access the water through the difficult Jnana Yoga. Yogis, saints, and realized souls reach within to experience this form like accessing Patala Ganga. Archyavataram. The fifth rūpam, he presents himself available to one and all in the form of vigrahas installed and consecrated in Divya Deshams or temples by the devotees for worship. This is considered to be the most suitable and accessible manifestation of the divine for the mortals in Kali Yuga to evoke his grace. The temple Agama Shastras or building guidelines adhere to depict his abode. Thus, all devotees experience the Lord in the Stula Shariram or physical form. The devotees centralize their thoughts on the charm of the Vigrahas and remain in a meditative mood in communion with the Almighty. This is like water stored in dams and lakes that is available to anyone, anytime. Delivered in the middle of the battlefield, when the most powerful warrior in that battlefield was down on his knees, riddled with grief, fear, and dilemma. Krishna delivers Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, a conversation between a distressed disciple and his trusted master. Krishna starts to reveal his enlightened state of existence and states his identity is with the core of existence and not at a superficial level. Arjuna realizes the true magnitude of the being of Krishna and wishes to know more about his true identity. Krishna starts listing out a few aspects of his grand state of being, Vibhuti. After hearing in amazement, Arjuna wishes to see that grand, all-pervading form of Krishna through his own eyes. Out of compassion, Krishna provides Arjuna the power to see and presents himself in a form which is all-pervading. Vishwaroopam. Bala Gopala, the miraculous baby Krishna, lies on a banyan leaf, content, innocent, and with a hint of amusement on his face. The Puranas state during the dissolution of the universe, sage Markandeya witnesses the horror of the great deluge as humanity disappears under water. All around him, waters rise to submerge the continents and the mountains, drowning every forest, river, valley, desert, and island. Suddenly, he spots a little child floating on a banyan leaf on the dangerous torrents, grabbing his lotus-like toe and placing it in his mouth. The baby is unaffected by the pralaya. Markandeya finds himself sucked into the baby's body and to his surprise discovers the whole world with all of its realms safely tucked inside the child, quite oblivious to the calamity outside. The great sage then realizes that the baby is a god who has withdrawn the world into himself before recreating the universe. Vatapatra Sayee visual portrays themes of renewal and innocence. The universe collapses when purity is lost. Krishna's birth is a new, fresh, uncontaminated. Sri Sudarshanar means one who shows the right path of realization. Known as Chakrathalwar, he has the combined grace of Lord Varaha and Lord Narasimha. Lord Varaha is considered to be an embodiment of wisdom. Sudarshanar bestows ultimate wisdom. Lord Narasimha removed the anxiety of his devotee Prahalada. Similarly, Sudarshana grants wealth, knowledge, and freedom from fear, disease, and other evils. Lord Vishnu has a number of weapons. The bow is known as the Sarangam, the sword is known as the Nandakam, the conch is known as the Panchajanyam, the mace is known as the Kaumodaki, and the holy discus is known as the Sudarshana. The weapons are together known as the Panchayudam. Sudarshana Chakra is the most important weapon of Lord Vishnu. Devotees consider Sri Sudarshana as an aspect of Lord Vishnu, and he is represented with holding different weapons on his 16 arms. Sudarshana is seen in a six-cornered star, Shatkona, as a ferocious deity, and while in a three-cornered star, Yoga Narasimha is along present with him in the rear. The five weapons of Lord Vishnu are the security personnel of the universe, and they are ever vigilant. Dasavatharam. The sequence of the 10 incarnations of Lord Vishnu is an amazing recording of the advancement of human civilization in tune with evolutionary theory. The first incarnation or avatara of Lord Vishnu was in the form of a fish known as Matsyavatara. It represents the first life forms evolved underwater. The second incarnation of Lord Vishnu in the form of a tortoise known as Kurmavatara. The tortoise is an amphibious creature capable of living in both on land and in water, and it indicates the moving of life form from underwater to surface or land. The third incarnation of Lord Vishnu is the boar known as Varahavatara. Boar is a complete land animal, and in this incarnation, life form has moved out of water and has adapted to land. The fourth incarnation of Lord Vishnu is the half man, half animal form known as Narasimhavatara. This incarnation of half animal, half man starts the transformations from animal to human form. The fifth incarnation of Lord Vishnu is the dwarf human being known as Vamanavatara, a transition from the beastly form to human form and the development of intelligence. The sixth incarnation of Lord Vishnu is the forest dweller known as Parashurama. He has developed weapons, and the axe is his first weapon. Any sharp stone can be transformed into an axe, and it also indicates the first settlement of humans in forests. The seventh incarnation of Lord Vishnu is Lord Rama. He is civilized and has developed more superior weapons like the bow and the arrow. He has cleared the forests and developed small communities or villages. He is very vigilant and protects his people. Rama was a very noble man. This shows the psychology and the simplicity of early human beings. The eighth incarnation of Lord Vishnu is Lord Balarama. He is portrayed with the plough, the beginning of full-fledged cultivation. Human civilization reformed from hunter-gatherers to cultivators. The development of farming and agriculture is the beginning of an agrarian economy. The ninth incarnation of Lord Vishnu is Krishna. He represents the advancing human civilization. He is associated with cows, the beginning of domestication of animals, and the development of the economy. Civilizations were formed, arts and music were patronized, and the foundations for the modern day society were codified. The 10th incarnation of Lord Vishnu is Kalki and is yet to arrive. He is believed to ride on a swift horse, Devadatta, and destroy the world, a clear indication that human beings will bring an end to life on earth. The numerous natural calamities created by human beings and the numerous nuclear weapons stored illustrates this truth. Hyagreeva is an avatara of Lord Vishnu. He is worshipped as the god of knowledge and wisdom. With a human body and a horse's head, Brahma and goddess Saraswati reside in him. He is in the form of Veda, Rig, Yajur, Sama and Atharvana. Hyagreeva is celebrated in the Puranas for rescuing the Vedas from the demons Madhu and Kaitaba and teaching them again to Brahma. He protects all creatures. Symbolically, the story represents the triumph of pure knowledge, guided by the hand of God over the demonic forces of passion and darkness. Dattatreya is an incarnation of the Divine Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. The word Datta means given. Datta is called so because the Divine Trinity have given themselves in the form of a son to the sage couple Guru Atri and Mata Anasuya, hence the name Atreya. His 3 heads are symbols of the 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. The 6 hands symbolize Yama, Niyama, Sama, Dhamma, Dhaya and Shanti in yoga. The Kamadhenu cow is symbolic of the Panchabhutas. The 4 dogs are the inner forces of a human being, Icha, Vasana, Asha and Trishna. In these interpretations, Dattatreya is the yogi who has perfected all these, rules over them rather than be ruled by them. Thus, he is Guru Dattatreya. Hanuman or Anjaneya is a divine Vanara companion of God Rama. Hanuman is one of the central characters of the epic Ramayana. He is an ardent devotee of Rama and one of the Chiranjeevis. With the blessings of the wind god, Hanuman was born to Anjana, a celestial nymph, and Kesari. Anjana once angered a sage and was cursed to be born as a monkey. When she begged for pardon, the curse was reversed after she bore a mighty son of worth. As a child, Hanuman leaped towards the sun, assuming it to be a fruit. He was hurt and fell down unconscious. Vayudeva was upset and stopped the airflow in the 3 worlds. So the gods intervened to revive Hanuman and blessed him with many boons which gave him unique powers and strength, thus making him invincible and immortal. Panchamukha Anjaneya is a unique form he takes on to kill Ahiravana, the king of Patala. Shasta, Manikandan, Hariharaputran or Ayyappa is considered to be the epitome of dharma, truth and righteousness. He is often called upon to obliterate evil. Ayyappa is the son of Shiva and Mohini, a form of Vishnu. He was born with the powers of Shiva and Vishnu. Ayyappa is seen sitting in the Yoga Pattasana with a Chinmudra. Sanatana Dharma uses symbols to nudge us towards remembering our original goal. This is the way of connecting the subtle body to the entire cosmos. The 3 open fingers denote Ahamkara, Maya and Karma, the 3 binding factors of our life in samsara. The index finger stands for the individual Atma and the thumb represents the Brahman or Paramatma. The gentle touch of these 2 fingers indicate the coming together of the micro with the macrocosmos. So, the Chinmudra eliminates Ahankara, Maya and Karma, merging the Jivatma into the Paramatma. Kamadhenu or Surabhi literally means the cow from whom all that is desired is drawn, the cow of plenty. She is a divine bovine goddess described as the mother of all cows. She is a miraculous cow of plenty who provides her owner whatever he desires. Kamadhenu rose from the churning of the cosmic ocean by the gods and demons to acquire Amritam. So she is regarded as the offspring of the gods and the demons. Nandini is described as her cow daughter. Kamadhenu was given to the Sapta Rishis, the 7 great seers, so she could supply milk and ghee for the rituals and the fire sacrifices. All the gods are believed to reside in the body of Kamadhenu. Her 4 legs are the scriptural Vedas. Her horns are the gods Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Her eyes are the sun and the moon gods. Her shoulders, the fire god Agni and the wind god Vayu, and her legs, the Himalayas. She denotes purity, fertility and sustenance of human life.
Adi Shakti, or the primordial energy, is the basis of all material aspects of creation. She is worshipped in a personified form as Prakriti or Divine Mother in Sanatana Dharma. The vast emptiness of existence is depicted as Shiva or Purusha, the masculine counterpart. Shakti and her manifestations give birth to creation. Among the many thousands of forms in which Adi Shakti is worshipped, some of the most prominent are the three Devis, Durga, Lakshmi and Saraswati. They are based on the three gunas of Tamas, Rajas and Sattva.
The Mahi or buffalo denotes Tamoguna, laziness, ignorance and inertia. The killing of the demon Mahisha is symbolic of overcoming animalistic tendencies. Hence, we invoke goddess Mahishasuramardhini to receive divine powers to overcome lethargy and get into positive action. Lakshmi symbolizes wealth, beauty, luck and prosperity. For knowledge to dawn, the mind should be pure, concentrated and single-pointed. This purification of the mind is obtained through worship of Lakshmi. Her four hands represents the four aims of life: Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Lakshmi is derived from the word Lakshya, meaning aim. True wealth or Sampat is virtues and integrity. Saraswati is pictured as dressed in white, riding a swan with books and veena in her hands. By the way of sense, thought, understanding and communication, she is the source of wisdom for Brahma to shape creation. Saraswati represents the highest knowledge of the self. Hence the three Devis. Durga removes impurities of the mind, Lakshmi cultivates noble values, and finally Saraswati is invoked for gaining knowledge of the self. Vijayadashami thus represents victory by purification of the self and controlling the mind. Navadurga, or the 9 forms of Durga, is based on the waxing phases of the moon. Each night of the Navaratri honors one of the mother goddesses' manifestations. Goddess Durga appears in 9 different forms, each endowed with unique powers and traits. Together, these 9 manifestations are called Navadurga. In the Devi Kavacha, Brahma tells Markandeya the names of the Navadurga goddesses: Shailaputri, Brahmacharini, Chandragandha, Kusumananda, Skandamata, Katyayini, Kalaratri, Mahagauri, and Siddhidatri. Dasha Mahavidya are the 10 wisdom goddesses. The term is coined from Dasha meaning 10 and Maha meaning great and Vidya meaning knowledge. Vishnu Purana states that Savidya ya vimuktaye, meaning true knowledge is that which leads to liberation. So Mahavidya leads to ultimate liberation or moksha. Each Mahavidya is a form of the Divine Mother, and the goddess Adi Shakti is worshipped through these unique names Nama, forms Rūpa, vehicles Yana, and weaponry Ayudha. All of these attributes represent the nature of that knowledge system and the kind of energy associated with that form. As energy in its raw form could be both a force of destruction and disaster, and also bounty and benevolence, these feminine representations range from utterly fierce forms or Ugramurthis like Kali and Chinnamasta to extremely appeasing forms or Saumya Murthis like Shodashi or Kamalatmika. The processes and offerings of worship of these Murthis correspond to their nature. While Puranas are flooded with symbolic stories which are meant to install awe and devotion, Tantric texts present a more technical description of these forms of goddesses and the various methods of invocation and worship. The original story of the Dashamahavidya from the Brahmadharma Purana goes like this. Once upon a time, Sati Devi wanted to attend a yajna planned by her father Daksha Prajapati. Shiva asks her not to go since they were not invited and tries to escape from the conversation. Sati Devi is angered and locks him in place from all the 10 directions. Shiva, in amazement, asks her of these forms and she explains each of them and attributes each to a Mahavidya to the 10 cardinal directions respective to Shiva. Kali in front, Tara at the top, Bhairavi below, Chinnamasta to the right, Bhuvaneshwari to the left, Bagalamukhi at the back, Dhumavati in Agneya, Kamalatmika in Nairuti, Matangi in Vayavya, and Shodashi in Ishana directions. This Puranic story depicts that the Dashamahavidya are the representations of subtle differences in how Shakti is manifested around Shiva. All of them are given personified forms and traits which are used to access that dimension of energy. There are many variations of each Mahavidya and a deep significance behind each aspect of their depictions. The Mahavidyas are separated into benevolent wisdom goddesses like Tara, Tripura Sundari, Kamala, Bhuvaneshwari and Matangi, and fearsome wisdom goddesses like Kali, Dhumavati, Bhairavi, Chinnamasta and Bagalamukhi. Adi Shankara in the very first sloka of Saundarya Lahari says, "O goddess, Shiva is capable of action only because of you. If it weren't for you, he would be as unresponsive as a corpse."
Once, Shiva and Parvati had an argument over existence. Shiva added that everything materialistic we possessed, even the food we ate, are just an illusion or maya. This made goddess Parvati very angry. She did not agree that the food was an illusion. She said that calling food an illusion was equivalent to calling her an illusion. So, in order to show Lord Shiva and the world the importance of Prakriti or nature, she disappeared, saying that the world cannot survive without food. Her disappearance meant that nature came to a standstill. There were no changes in season. Everything became barren, lands infertile. Nothing grew anymore. This led to severe drought and a huge shortage of food. Gods, humans, and demons all kept praying for food. Goddess Parvati heard the prayers and she could not see her children perishing out of hunger. So she appears in Kashi or Varanasi as Annapurna Devi and started distributing food. Shiva realized his mistake and appeared before Goddess Parvati in Kashi with a begging bowl in his hands. Annapurna is a combination of two words, Anna meaning food and Purna meaning filled completely. Annapurna, the goddess of food, an avatara of goddess Parvati. She is the goddess of nourishment for the body as food, for the soul in the form of enlightenment. She gives us the energy to attain knowledge. It is believed that if the food is cooked with the spirit of holiness, it becomes as sacred as Annapurna blesses it. Pratyengira Devi is described as a goddess with a male lion's face and a female human body representing the union of Shiva and Shakti. She holds the combined destructive power of Shiva and Shakti. This combination of lion and human forms represents the balance of good and evil. As told in the Puranas, in the beginning of the Treta Yuga, Lord Narasimha killed the unruly king Hiranyakashipu by tearing up his body and drinking his blood. Because of the anger in Hiranyakashipu's body and blood, Lord Narasimha's rage could not be stopped. To calm him down, Lord Shiva came down as Sarabeshwara, an 8-legged, part lion and part bird beast. Upon seeing this, Lord Narasimha created Gandhabherunda, a 2-headed bird, to fight against Sarabeshwara. These two beings fought a very long time, terrorizing the world without reaching a solution. Seeing this, Shakti invoked Pratyengira. Pratyengira appeared before these fighting beings and roared. When she roared, the terrified Sarabeshwara and Gandhabherunda stopped their fight. Pratyengira had the combined power of Vishnu, Shiva and Shakti.
She was more powerful than any of them. The term Prating means reverse and Angira means attacking. Thus, Devi Pratyengira is the one who reverses any black magic attacks. Goddess Lalitha Tripura Sundari is the third of the Mahavidya, known as Sodashi. The word Lalitha means playful, charming, desirable and easy to approach. The story of Sri Mata is found in the Lalithopakyanam of the Brahmanda Purana. She emerged from the fire of knowledge, Chittagni Kunda Sambhuta, to protect devas and devotees and slay the demon Bhandasura, who is born from the ashes of Kamadeva. Hence, she takes on the name Kameshwari and her consort Madana Kameshwaran. She holds in her four arms the following weapons. The gourd represents detachment from materialistic possessions and desires and using them just for fulfillment of need and having no attachment to it. The noose in the upper left hand represents attachment to the journey of pursuing eternal truth to get salvation. She represents one should be attached to only the spiritual phase of life in order to get liberation and attain her holy abode. The 5 flower arrows represents the 5 senses of the human, or the 5 elements. It is she who has control over all, and she depicts the correct use of the senses towards spiritual enlightenment rather than external vices. The sugarcane bow represents balance. If the string of the bow is too tight, the bowstring breaks, and if it is too loose, the bow is useless. Hence, by holding the bow, she represents a balanced mind, neither too detached nor too attached. The flower arrows and sugarcane bow, weapons of Kamadeva, are used to induce desire in a Jivatma. But Sri Mata Lalitambika helps Jivatma overcome Kama and creates desire for Brahmajnana. The Lalita Sahasranamam has a complete description of Goddess Lalita's form and her Shakti Sena which vanquished Bhandasura. As Adya Kali, she creates the universe. She expresses her supremacy by establishing herself upon Pancha Predasana. It has Lord Kameshwara, 5-fold forms of Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Maheshwara and Sadashiva. Pancha Brahma Sanastita, which means the one who sits on the 5 Brahmas, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Ishvara and Sadashiva. These 5 Brahmas are the 5 forms of Purushas. Karankuli Nakotpanna Narayana Dashakritihi. She is so powerful that she can create the Dashavataras of Vishnu from her fingernails. Shiva Shaktiyaika Swarupini Sri Lalitambika. She is Shiva and Shakti herself. She is Purna Brahman and Brahma Shakti herself. Varahi is one of the Saptamatrikas and the consort of Varaha. In Srividya tradition, she is called Mahavarahi. She serves Lalita Tripura Sundari as a general who is the consort of Narayana. Gopala Sodari or Srividya Rajagopal is a combined form of Sri Mahatripura Sundari and Rajagopal. This form is half Krishna and half Lalita, like Ardhanareeswarar holding the Ayudas of both. This form symbolizes Adi Shakti merging with Vishnu to create the Dashavataras. Goddess Gayatri is the manifestation of Goddess Saraswati, the consort of Lord Brahma. She is regarded as Vedamata, the mother of all Vedas. Gayatri is venerated as the Trimurthy Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. She is the embodiment of Gayatri, Savitri and Saraswati. Gayatri is the master of senses, Savitri is the master of prana or life force, and Saraswati is the presiding deity of speech or vak. These 3 represent purity in thought, word and deed. Trikarana Shuddhi. Gayatri Mantra is one of the most well-known Vedic hymns dedicated to the goddess of Veda. Goddess Gayatri is portrayed with 5 faces. The 5 faces symbolizes 5 pranas: prana, apana, vyavana, udana and samana, and also symbolizes the 5 elements of the universe. Goddess Gayatri has 10 hands She carries the weapons of Lord Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Two of the hands are shown in Abhaya Mudra and Varada Mudra. Among all goddesses, Gayatri is the only goddess having Trinetra, 3 eyes like Lord Shiva.
Among the many forms of Parvati, the 5 most important goddesses represented in different life stages are Kashi Vishalakshi as a child, Kanchi Kamakshi as a young girl, Nagapattinam Neelayadakshi as a teenage girl, Thiruvarur Kamalamba as a young unmarried woman, and Madurai Meenakshi as a married woman. All these 5 abodes of Shakti are Shakti Peetams.
Brahma, one of the Trinity, is considered as the god of creation. He has 4 faces symbolic of the 4 Vedas, Yugas, Varnas, Purusharthas, directions, and the 4 stages of life known as ashramas. His consort is Saraswati, the wisdom goddess. He holds no weapons, rather symbols of knowledge and creation. In one hand, he holds the sacred texts of Vedas. In second, he holds a mala or rosary bead symbolizing time. In the third, he holds a shruk or a ladle used to feed the sacrificial fire. In the fourth, a kamandalam, utensil with water symbolizing all creation emits from water. His 4 mouths are credited with creating the 4 Vedas. He is depicted in a sage-like appearance and his vehicle is a hamsa or a swan.
Ravana, one of the most powerful beings on earth, is also known as the supreme anti-hero in Ramayana. He was the king of the Rakshasas and is depicted with 10 heads and 20 arms, giving him the name Dashamukha, 10-faced. He was born to sage Vishravana and Asura mother Kaikashi. Ravana's 10 heads symbolize the 6 Shastras and 4 Vedas, making him a great scholar and the most intelligent person of his time. He was a master of 64 types of knowledge and all arts of weapon. A highly learned Brahmin, Ravana has authored dozens of texts. He is known to have compiled Samaveda with the relevant musical notes, and his Shiva Thandava Stotra is yet the most popular hymn ever sung in praise of Lord Shiva. His 10 heads thus stood for this multiplicity of his genius. Another negative interpretation of Ravana's 10 heads are the 10 emotions or senses in a human. Kama, lust; Krodha, anger; Moha, delusion; Lobha, greed; Madha, pride; Matsarya, envy; Manas, the mind; Buddhi, intellect; Chitta, will; and Ahankara or ego. Hindu traditions emphasize on the importance of controlling one's senses and projecting just the intellect alone, which is considered supreme over others. The use of other emotions are considered to be detrimental to the growth of a soul. The great king Mahabali advised Ravana to shun these 9 emotions and to keep only intellect, to which Ravana justifies that the possessions of these phases are equally important and make him a complete man. The head controls our destiny, and the 10 heads of Ravana controlled his actions, which ultimately led him to destruction. The king of Lanka became a slave to his senses, and since he could not control his desires, he not only destroyed himself and his clan, but the whole Lanka was reduced to ashes. Having all this knowledge and not being able to harness his powers was one of Ravana's biggest regrets as he lay dying on his deathbed. The great sages of ancient India, in deep states of meditation, communion with the cosmos, and through spiritual experimentations discovered the underlying fundamental truths of the universe. Their teachings formed the basis for the spiritual culture of the ancient Vedic civilization. The Rishis are divine beings referred in the scriptures as Bhusuras or the Devas on earth. The great Sapta Rishis are the 7 greatest sages of the Vedic realm who are immortal with a long lifespan because of their yogic power. The 7 saints were assigned to be present through the 4 great ages to direct humanity. They are the 7 mind-born sons of Brahma who live for a period of time known as a Manvantara. During this period of time, they serve as representatives of Brahma. At the end of a Manvantara, the universe gets destroyed and the Sapta Rishis merge in God. A new age is created again with newly appointed Sapta Rishis. The Sapta Rishis are Atri, Bharadwaja, Gautama, Jamadagni, Kashyapa, Vashishta and Vishwamitra. Veda Vyasa. Shiva granted a boon that Parashara's son would be a Brahma Rishi equal to Vashishta and would be famous for his knowledge. He is the son of Satyavati and Rishi Parashara. His birth name was Krishna Dvaipayana. He is hailed as Vishnu Swaroopam. He authored the Mahabharata, Bhagavatam and many other texts and also classified the Vedas. Veda Vyasa's birthday is celebrated as Guru Purnima. Maharishi Sukha. Vyasa underwent 100 years of austerity to bear a son. An Apsara flew in front of him in the form of a beautiful parrot. Sukha was churned out of a stick of fire, born with ascetic powers and with the Vedas dwelling inside of him just like his father. The boy repeated everything that he heard, thus receiving the name Sukha, that is a parrot. Sukha preaches the Mahabharata and Bhagavata Puranas to Maharaja Parikshit and other sages. The Rishis, seers and Guru Parampara are a bridge that connects humans to the celestials by passing down the scriptures, knowledge and awareness. Sannyasa is a renounced order of life. By purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, self-control, study of the Vedas, austerity and simplicity, free from envy and passion, their life energy is employed in the service of the divine with great austerity, which develops transcendental qualities. The word Guru is a combination of 2 words, Gu meaning darkness and Ru meaning light. So, Guru literally means the light that dispels darkness. That light is Jyoti Swaroopam. Saffron is the color that symbolizes all aspects of Hinduism. It's the color of Agni or fire, which reflects the Supreme Being. Saffron is also the color of the first ray of sun. Wearing this color symbolizes the quest for light. Hence, we see seers always robed in saffron. The Dandam is a staff which sannyasis behold always. It has a folded up cloth at the top which is very sacred and cannot be touched, taken or put down as one wishes. No one should touch it as it contains the concentrated power center of that sannyasi. The folded up cloth is called Brahma Sutra, which can be made ready only by a few pandits, especially trained in it. Advaita sannyasis carry 1 dandam, ekadandam, in their hands. Vaishnava acharyas carry 3. This is to signify Jiva Brahma Aikyam, oneness of the individual soul and the Supreme. Tonsure is the practice of cutting or shaving some or all of the hair on the scalp as a sign of religious devotion or humility. It is a symbol of their renunciation of worldly fashion and self-esteem. Saints are often seen using deer or tiger skin as a seat. The animal skin has warmth which increases the heat along one's spinal cord. It facilitates the flow of the Kundalini Shakti from the Mooladhara chakra to the Sahasrara or at the crown of the head. In the wilderness of the forest, it helped in keeping other animals away so the saints could meditate safely. All the skins used were from natural death and not hunting. We all look similar in our appearances. In human form, we all look differ widely in our awareness, but can differ widely in our awareness. We all perceive the world through our pancha jnanendriyas. We all perceive the world or five sense organs and pancha karmendriyas or five sense organs or organs of and pancha karmendriyas along with the or organs of action. When pranavayu or life force enters through the pranavayu or life force enters through the body, our human body and the organs are divided into our human body and the organs are divided into two halves. This duality is much more profound than just this duality is much more profound than just one of us are physically capable of employing our right. One of us are physically capable of employing our right. While some of us are more intuitive and creative. While some of us are more intuitive and creative. Each part of our body is also at a different level of body is also at a different levels of prana. As it receives different levels of prana. This invisible power circuit powers all the organs. While we see the physical body, we neither see the air we breathe nor the warmth it causes, but the life force exists at a subtler level of existence and its presence can only be felt. Where prana or life force gathers and redistributes across the body are the energy centers called chakras. So, pranayama or breath control either by physical activity or yogic means helps control the energy of the chakras. In the cross section of our spine, we have two parallel tubes of nerve bundles which convey information from the brain to the various body organs. In yogic science, these two pipes are channels or nadis that carry life force across the body. The left channel is called Ida and the right channel is called Pingala. What the yogic science also recognizes is a third channel. This middle channel is spiritually significant to cross the dualities of physical existence. This third nadi is called Sushupti. The name itself suggests it is in a state of Sushupti or dormancy. The object of Kriya Yoga is to energize the Sushumna by the prana brought into the body through Ida and Pingala. This activates the 7 major chakras along the spine. The chakras symbols are a form of sacred geometry combining imagery, geometric shapes, Sanskrit letters and colors. They represent each chakra's energy and have a rich spiritual meaning.
The first chakra at the base of the spine is Mooladhara. Moola meaning source and Adhara meaning support. This root chakra is associated with the earth element. The 4 petals on the root chakra symbolize stability and structure as well as the 4 mind states: Manas, mind, Buddhi, intellect, Chitta, consciousness and Ahankara, ego. Associated with survival needs, stability, security, stamina and endurance, the color red relates to self-awareness, helping reconnect your body with nature. The second chakra is Swadhisthana, meaning well established. It deals with pleasure, creativity, emotions and sexuality associated with the water element. It has 6 petals. They represent the 6 negative qualities you need to overcome to open and purify the second chakra: anger, jealousy, cruelty, hatred, pride and desire. Orange is associated with happiness and creativity, which links to the sacral chakra's qualities of pleasure and self-expression. The third chakra is Manipuraka or navel chakra, translates to city of jewels. It deals with power, hunger and nourishment and is represented by the element fire. The 10 petals represent the 10 pranas, Pancha Jnanendriyas and the Pancha Karmendriyas. Yellow is a color of hope and positivity, linked to self-confidence, self-belief and endurance. The fourth chakra is Anahata, meaning unstuck or unhurt, referring to the Vedic concept of unstruck sound. This is the heart chakra, represented by the element air. The 12 petals of the heart chakra represent the 12 positive qualities associated with this energy center: peace, bliss, love, harmony, empathy, understanding, purity, clarity, compassion, unity, forgiveness and kindness. The green color represents healing, balance and tranquility. However, green can also signify envy or jealousy, which are some of the traits of an unbalanced heart chakra. The fifth chakra is Vishuddhi, meaning purifier, is the throat chakra. The 16 petals are vowels of the Sanskrit language. Sanskrit vowels have a light and airy sound relating to the effortless quality of communication you experience with an open and well-balanced Vishuddhi chakra. The light blue color relates to purity, expression and wisdom, three qualities that an open throat chakra brings. The sixth chakra, Ajna, means perceive or beyond wisdom. The two petals represent the two subtle energy channels, Ida and Pingala, which travel up and down between the root chakra and the top of the head. It symbolizes duality between the self and the divine. The color indigo reflects wisdom and integrity and is also related to devotion. The seventh chakra is Sahasrara, or the crown chakra, that sits just above the top of the head and appears as a floating ball or crown of energy. Sahasrara translates to 1,000-petaled, or it can even mean infinity. It represents a divine connection linked to Kundalini energy that rises from the root chakra to the crown, resulting in transcendence and enlightenment. Purple is a mystical and magical color that represents wisdom. White is also often featured, symbolizing purity, rebirth, and oneness. The Kundalini energy coiled at the base of the spine races along the Sushumna, activating each chakra, shaping our spiritual anatomy and carves out our spiritual path, thus allowing one to integrate and understand their body, mind, and spirit. Chakras are also known as lotuses, and the petal count of each chakra denotes its vibratory frequency. Lotus is a sacred flower which can grow only in the mud and whose petals open one by one. Similar to lotus petals, each chakra petal can be opened from a withered flower to a fresh blossom or closed depending on the state of consciousness. The chakras, as described in ancient Hindu texts, present us with hidden messages and the opportunity to deepen our knowledge, to activate these energy centers. With the right guidance from a guru and a disciplined, pure mind and effort, one can grow in awareness towards the absolute truth. Namaskara.
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavati Tamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.